HyperX Podcast. There you go. Because my program is picking up your audio through the computer, but wasn't picking up me talking. Wouldn't be much of a podcast. Just you talking to it, me being like,
It is sign language.
Yeah, so introduction then. So welcome to the podcast, Kirstie.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. We have had to move to doing this online because the studio that we were working with has decided to do podcasting on the move, but because of the locations and where we film, it's a bit difficult, Brandon, you know. So, you know, the podcast is now going to be filmed on the computer unless we film in a secret location that we will not discuss yet. Because I think I've told you about the place, but I just don't want to say it because it's gonna
you did, yeah.
I'm gonna put this through my editor and then it's gonna be like, oh, you want to mention that? Let's get that on online, you know. So we're not gonna do that.
No.
So yeah, so we're gonna be doing the podcasting from now on at the moment through online, basically, just to make it easier. And then we can get some stuff up online. I am just going to ask a question. So I have a list of questions that we could run through just to make some content, because we need to make content. So I've got this editor thing I use called Opus Clips, but it's one of these ones where you get credits that need to be used up, and I have so many credits to be used up. So I was like, Richard, like, hey mate, we need to start fucking filming. I need to be able to use these credits because it's a waste of fucking money at this point. And he was going to film today, but he's away to Paris, so he will not be filming today.
Oh, nice.
He's going to Paris, so he'll be back next weekend. So I thought, right, well, why not? I'll try and get other people on, and I'm glad you said yes because I was desperate.
Thanks.
I mean, not desperate specifically just for you, but I was desperate to have someone to come and talk to me. So you know, you've done me a favor, Brandon. Right, so. No,
I know.
Aye, funny. So, right, I have a list of questions I want to ask you, and we'll run through them, right?
Right.
How did you become interested in the paranormal?
I've always kind of been interested. I think I was about 2 when I had my first experience. I can kind of remember it. Talking to a male spirit that was in the house that we lived in when my dad was in the RAF. And just ever, I don't know what it is. It's just something that's just always kind of caught my attention, and I've always been just really, really interested in it. So, yeah, a few experiences. And I was just like, I just want to kind of get into this more. So, yeah, that's been a thing for you guys.
I had a couple experiences when I was a kid, but I think my mum used to be quite obsessive with watching paranormal programs and left them on the telly at times where I was in the room. So I had an interest in it then, and then as a teenager I had a big interest in watching a lot of the programs and stuff like that, but then I wouldn't say the programs are any good after doing investigating for 10 years. So that sparked my interest and that got me into it. So I got another question for you, which is, can you share your most memorable or convincing investigation experience?
Oh, right. One was I was with a different team.
Yeah.
And we went to Normandy in France.
Ah, those who shall not be named.
Yeah. But there was, we were on a campsite that was basically part of a German kind of headquarters thing. And there was German bunkers, nearby, and we went to investigate them. But there was one night I was like that, I'm just going to stay at the campsite and just, keep an eye on things, have a rest. We were kind of all sitting, round a camp table, singing songs and stuff. And I said, I thought you were going out to, investigate. And they said, Kirstie, we've been back about 2 hours, hen. I was like, what? It turned out that after they left, it was maybe about I can't remember, it was an hour or, no, it must have been about 4 hours. 3 of them came back because one of them had a feeling that something was wrong.
Yeah.
And they found me huddled underneath the table, with my hoodie totally like right over my face and all, kind of hunched up, gibbering in perfect French. There was video cameras. We'd set up CCTV, kind of, an hour bit of the campsite.
Yeah.
To keep an eye on the tent and stuff like that. And they wouldn't let me watch what had happened during those 4 hours. So I still haven't got a clue. And that's memorable because it's so damn scary.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's a wild story. Like, it's kind of one of those stories that I think most people would find difficult to believe if they didn't experience it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like
it was really scary.
Yeah, like it seems like the kind of story that you would get on like those like spooky tales and stuff like that. Like if you ever see this stuff online, but like spooky stories and things like that.
Yeah,
like it's pretty out there. I mean,
yeah, I was actually apparently I said to one of the guys, I called him like by a different name, and it turned out that his best friend, who was he was in the army, and he was killed, actually gave this person the name that I said as a nickname, and there was no way I could have known that.
Yeah.
So,
that's wild.
So it was memorable, but I don't remember, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, aye, yeah. If you don't have any memory of blacking out, then certainly. I think my most memorable are 2 that have happened in this team, and it was just the PI in Stirling Old Town Jail, where I had somebody, right in my eardrum speak to me.
You always get that.
I wish it would happen. I wish it would happen more, because then I would have more and more and more reasons to believe. But the fact that they are so rare, I think, sort of solidifies the idea of paranormal, because that it's not the normal. If the normal was every investigation I went on, I would hear somebody speak in my ear. You would be like, that's pretty normal. This is paranormal because it's something that just, it doesn't happen on a regular basis to me. But those 2 times were like, they're pretty out there. I mean, the first one, what was it again? I heard a burp in the room, and I was like, did you just burp at me? And then right in my eardrum, I just heard, aye, and I could feel the breath, and I was like, that's weird. And that was the first time I ever did a solo. So I always thought I could probably get this activity by doing solos. Clearly it must be doing a solo, whereas the second experience, I wasn't really solo, but I kind of was. It was when we were doing the warden playthrough at Stirling Old Town Jail, and I was going up and down. And this one actually, luckily, I've got it on camera and it's on social media. The other one is in all the older files and like probably locked away somewhere on someone's computer. So I don't have access to it. But Maxine remembers me showing her it because when she first got into the team, we still had all that old equipment. So I was like, "Hey, you need to check this shit out, man! Like this is wild." And she'll tell people the same thing, that I was in that room completely on my own. And the second one was like I was stood in the jail cell door at Stirling Old Town, like the second last jail cell, or it was the last jail cell. I have a sneaky suspicion it was the last jail cell, and like there was just somebody came up beside me whilst I'm in the middle of the two concrete walls of the door, and just blew in my ear, and it was just like a really long exhale, like, and I was like,
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And when I told Maxine that, she's like, "Nah, fuck off. Like, you would have had a bigger reaction than what you reacted." And I was like, "Okay, sure." And I was like, "Here you go." And I was like, I played the footage, and she was like, "Holy shit!" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I was like, there wasn't a point in me reacting at that point. Like, I was talking to Zara, who's deaf. She has to lip read. She couldn't really hear me. And I was, yeah, exactly. We're in the pitch black, and then if I try to turn around and I'm smacking myself off the concrete and try to run away, like, you know what I mean? So I just stood there and let it happen. Like, wasn't anything you could do.
I think that's the best thing. That's the best thing to do, though.
Yeah.
Just kind of acknowledge it happened, and that's it.
Yeah. Question is though, do spirits do it because they want to get a reaction, and then by me not reacting, it was just like, I don't know.
He's no fun.
I try to scare that guy, and look at this, he's just stood there. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Bye.
Stirling Old Town Jail. That has been one of my favourite locations.
Yeah, Stirling Old Town's phenomenal, and like one of the things I would say for like groups that are interested in Stirling Old Town Jail is mention our group. Mention West Scotland Paranormal Research when you're looking at doing a booking, because we have a really good relationship with the owners of, or the organisers of Stirling Old Town Jail, and like we stand by it. Like me and Richard had a podcast about this, and we both agree that Stirling Old Town is the #1 location for us, which is why like we've got to the point now where we're doing like double bookings there every single year, because it's just we get stuff happening every single time. We're still aiming to get more experiences of the blowing in the ear, but then ironically, the first time that Richard ever came out with us, I was doing an Estes session and he was sat at the door in the spiral staircase upstairs. Not at the top of the stair, but at the bottom, the door where the steps are that lead you into the corridor.
Yeah.
And I get knocked off the headset, like tap, tap, tap. So I take the headset off and he's just like, and I'm like, what? And he's like, mate, you will not believe this. He's like, but I was just sat at the door and we were asking questions and I just heard like right past my ear. And he's like, it must be a draft. It must be a draft. And I'm like, a draft from where? I'm like, that's the door's shut. Windows are shut. Like, none of even, I don't even think any of the windows open. I'm like, you try and rationalize it. And I'm like, mate, it probably was not a draft. And then obviously that was a similar-ish experience to what I had. He described it more as air, whereas what I had happen was breath. It was someone in my ear just going, and I was just like, that's... Like, you could feel the heat. Like, you could actually feel that. You could feel it. You know what I mean? Like, you could tell it was an exhale.
Jings.
So, for the spirits of Old Town Jail in Stirling, we want more of that.
Yeah.
If you're listening or watching, for the other side. But got some more questions. What are some of the common misconceptions about paranormal investigations?
Well, I think one of the main ones is that something happens every time you go on an investigation.
Yeah.
And no, it doesn't. We've been on investigations that have been like, 6 hours, 8 hours, and absolutely nothing has happened at all. It's just a load of sitting about and you're asking for things to happen. You're trying loads of different, experiments and using lots of equipment, but you're getting absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So, if you do, watch these TV shows, it seems as if things are happening all the time, but it is nothing like that at all.
I think it's because people forget as well, as like, so when we're on a location on average, it's like 6 hours. Now, these teams in America are probably doing more than 6, like 8 to 12 hours, because obviously they've got a bit of money, they're on TV, they can afford to rent the place longer, and even still, they might even do multiple day investigations.
Yeah.
So they're whittling down a shit ton of footage to try and make a 45-minute to an hour long TV show on TV. So they will progressively have a lot more like, oh, this happened, this happened, this happened. And then if you're watching it without realizing the timeline, you're going to be like, oh man, wow, within an hour they had all this crazy stuff happen. It's like, no, that was an hour worth of footage over 48 hours, like, or 24 hours or 12 hours, which is like,
Yeah, I know. So no, I think that's the biggest, like, kind of thing.
Yeah.
The other one is that paranormal investigators, not all of them believe in spirits.
Yeah, that's true. That's another misconception, because obviously we've got a lot of folk in our group that don't believe in spirits.
Either don't believe, or skeptics, and believers.
Yeah.
The three of them.
Yeah, I'm a skeptical believer. Like, I've got to the point now where I'm like, I can't keep saying that I don't believe in ghosts, because I've had those two experiences, and if I was consistently saying after 10 years of doing this I don't believe, I would be a liar.
Yeah.
But
you're still skeptical.
I'm not skeptical. I think the skepticalness will be, I can't explain what it is. I can't say if there's like an afterlife because of those experiences. Like, this might be something completely different. Like, one of the things we always theorize is like a sort of just like a wee in-team thing is, what if we are somehow breaking the veil into another like timeline within our world? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so somebody in the 1800s is getting a glimpse of us and going, holy fuck, that's a ghost.
That's a ghost.
They're writing a story like, can you fucking believe this? This place is fucking haunted.
Yeah.
But then we are 200 years in the future seeing them, and that's why a lot of people's experiences of ghosts are just like very blank expressions, because they're stood there just like, I don't fucking move that fight, you know what I mean? Like, and then we're looking at them going, I better not fucking move.
Yeah.
So there's like a 200-year gap of both sides just going, am I seeing what the fuck I'm seeing? I think I'm seeing. And then, like, you know, there's just these wee moments where somehow we go, you know.
Yeah, it's just like a kind of crossover.
Like, we ask a question and then we hear a voice, but it's because they're hearing a voice and they're going, where the fuck is that coming from? Hello?
Yeah.
And we're just like, hello? And we're both just like, what's your name? Gary. What's your name?
Yeah.
You know, and
and both sides are going, oh, this is great. We're actually communicating with a spirit.
Aye, it turns out we're just communicating with something like Outlander, you know what I mean? It's like imagine if Claire and Jamie were talking to each other for 1945 to 1745, but it was in the opposite timelines, you know. And she's like, Jamie.
Well, 1743.
Aye,
yeah.
1943 to 1743 then.
No. It was 1946 and 1743.
Such a weird number, 203 years. Why did we get 300?
I know, it's strange, isn't it?
3 years, yeah. Like, just so odd, man. What a number. But
yeah, I've just thought about one of my funniest experiences.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was absolutely hilarious, and I still can't fathom what happened.
Yeah. So what was the story you're going to tell me?
Right, it was the second time we went to Curtis. And we went into the kind of restaurant cafe bit.
Yes.
And
aye.
Yeah. And if you remember, I mean, on the journey there, I was so tired, I was grumpy. to be honest, I didn't even really feel it going.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I really can't be bothered with this. And, you know, kind of got there and I was like, ah, right, okay. Right, you know, get this started. Went in. And we get taken into like the cafe bit.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it was like after about 15, 20 minutes, I started getting really animated. I actually felt as if I was drunk. And, oh God, I can't even remember her name now.
The person that,
Yeah.
Linda.
Linda, that's it. Linda said, you know, get spirited, you know, a guy.
Yeah.
I think they said he was Irish and he was always drunk. And, you know, he's always wanting everybody to sing and stuff. And I was like, that is where I'm getting that for.
Yeah.
And I started, you know, singing, you know, karaoke. And I was like, come on, sing with me and stuff like that. I actually felt as if I was on a night out and I was like happy, drunk and just having the whale of a time.
Yeah.
It was so strange. And I think it was about 20 minutes, half an hour after we left. I was kind of back to normal again. That was really strange, but fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an interesting investigation, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I got some more questions I'm just going to fire out. What have you encountered something you couldn't explain? I mean, I think we've kind of covered that. Like, I think the question is more. I think the better question would be is like, what things can we explain? And I remember when we used to do the PI, there was a report that people were hearing the toilet flush downstairs, and we were just like, right, okay. And they're like, yeah, it's really, really odd. The toilet flushes downstairs. And then at one point, somebody was upstairs and flushed the toilet, and we were like, huh, that sounds like the toilet downstairs is flushing. But then it was somebody upstairs flushing the toilet, and for some reason, the sound just travelled so well that when you were there, you were like, oh my God, somebody must be in the bathroom downstairs, let's go check. And then there was nothing there, but a team member was using the toilet upstairs, and you were like, ah. So we managed to speak to the security guard and be like, you know, and he's like, that's cool, you know, and that's interesting. He's like, nobody's ever figured that out, and we're like, yeah, the sound in here travels really weird, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was the same when we were at 30 East Drive.
Yeah.
Sure, there was loads of reports of the doors between the kitchen and the living room opening up by themselves. And we had figured out that, I mean, you can close the doors, right? But you've got to kind of push it hard for it to click, and that's it closed properly. If it doesn't do that, if someone opens the other kitchen door from the hallway, it causes a backdraft, which causes that other door to open. So that was good. I was so pleased that we actually debunked that.
Yeah, I have that experience in my own bloody house. My kitchen's attached to my living room, so I open the kitchen door, the living room door pops open, the living room door, the kitchen door pops open, because you need to get them clicked right. And I'm also to my kids like, shut the door, and then they shut it, and you don't hear the click, and you're like, properly, and then you just hear
shut it, click,
because they pulled it shut, and you're just like, there you go. Now the door will only swing open when somebody does something else. Like, it's funny, like those wee environmental factors can cause such a report of like paranormal activity, and you're just like, this one's actually explainable. Like, I think I've had two experiences that I would say are like unexplainable, but I wouldn't even say it was like, you know, I mean, I wouldn't go, it was a ghost, but it was like, did Balrossie. We used to go to Balrossie all the time. You came to Balrossie, didn't you, before?
Yeah, I came once, a someplace.
Aye, well, it was someplace.
Yeah.
God no. Bye, Balrossie. Rest in peace.
Bye.
They knocked it down. So we were upstairs on the gymnasium area, and I had set a camera up on the stage, because the gymnasium in Balrossie was above the cafeteria.
The floors were awful in that as well, weren't they?
Yeah. But on my camera, and I can't find the clip. Again, it's one of those ones of like, we got something and it's now gone into the ether. We'll never find it again. And there was just this blue orb that came up from, because the floor around the edge is all burnt and broken, so like you can look down and look up into the different floors, and this blue ball just shot up the wall, and it like,
oh god, yeah, I remember seeing that.
As it dissipated, it went like, and I was like, oh, that's weird. And then years later, I was watching a documentary about this thing called essentially like lightning balls. And it's a environmental effect that's rare but happens, where electricity essentially just combines into a ball, and the only option it has is to go up, and then it dissipates. And I was like, oh, maybe I caught that on camera, because nothing else can make sense to what that was. And then also at Menzies Castle, the last visit that we did, me and Maxine were in the Bonnie Prince Charlie room, and out of the
oh yeah, god, that's right.
Yeah, and out of the side of my eyes, I just saw this white light shoot across the wall, and I was like, what the hell was that? And it shot past the bed, and I was like, okay. Yeah. So somebody, I think it was Tomac, was like, oh, it could have been from the windows, and I was like, trust me, Tomac, I'll take you in that room and you will see there is physically no way for any light to cast from the roads outside Menzies into a perfect ball shape and shoot the way it did. So then we spent ages like going up and down the stairs with a torch and putting it through the keyhole and trying to get it to match, and every single time, no matter what the angle was.
You must have been at that for nearly an hour trying to thingy that one.
So yeah, that was another kind of like weird, unexplained thing. But again, not necessarily like I would jump and go, it's a ghost. You know what I mean? And then
it's a bit. Remember that time?
Yeah.
It must have been one of our first times at Menzies, and I was in the room off the pink room.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there myself because I wanted to do a solo. But the CCTV camera was there.
Yep.
And when we reviewed the footage, I mean, didn't notice anything at the time, but when we reviewed the footage, you heard my name getting whispered.
Yeah, I remember.
Which was really weird.
Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't have a walkie-talkie or anything like that, with me, so it wasn't, anybody, kind of, fooling about and whispering over that or anything. I just found that really weird. It was kind of freakishly exciting.
I mean, I used to get EVPs all the time where people would say my name, and it was always a similar voice that was saying my name, and then I used to get the creepy laughs every time I went into a hospital, and it was always the same creepy laugh, but it was different hospitals, and I'm just like, that's really, really weird. And then I was the only guy in the team as well, so hearing any male voices coming through was a bit of an experience, because there wasn't any guys in the group. One of the questions here that I think is interesting is like, how do you handle skeptics or critics of paranormal research? And funnily enough, one of the things that happened recently is because obviously we started posting up stuff on social media. I had one person that came in on YouTube, if I'm right, and they were doing the typical, like, a user mental, like that kind of thing. So I responded in kindness, and I was just like, well, that's your choice. You don't have to believe. And I was like, but what you've said essentially is you're accusing us of faking it. And I was like, now, as much as there might be groups out there that are going to fake the stuff that they do, and of course anybody seeing this clip might also go, nah, man, these guys are faking it. Of course.
Yeah.
Humans are skeptical, and that's the point. But when you sit there and you go, right, well, we are spending money, right? Our money, to rent a location. We are then spending all that time to document what we're doing, and it's all on camera. Unless people are going to want us to start, I don't know, recording the setup so they can see how we do the setup.
Yeah,
it's like,
that's actually not such a bad idea.
Aye, and it's like, but we're recording all that, we're putting our names to it, and then we're putting it out to the public, and it's like, we're not a big organisation. It's not like we've got a TV contract where we've got loads of money where we've got to make this content. Like, we're putting out the blood and soul of the work that we're doing, and I just explained that to the person. I was like, listen, you don't have to believe it, but when you come in and you do what you're doing and you speak the way you're speaking, I'm like, you kind of you're kind of accusing us of first off faking what we're doing. And I was like, but I was just also the way you're coming about it wasn't really all right. And funnily enough, they actually eventually apologized and said, "Nah, you're right." And then they said they've got a couple of things going on themselves, so they just unfortunately spent that time on the internet trying to attack other people. And I was just like, I mean, that's fine, fair enough.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but the explanation I gave of like how you've got to kind of also be respectful and reasonable, even if you don't believe.
Yeah.
It resulted in them apologizing in the end, and I was like, I mean, fair enough. Like, that's totally cool. We don't have a fan out of it, but you know what I mean. Like, it handled it. It's like you don't have to believe. I would say to folk as well, especially in Scotland, like we regularly take guests out, and it's like if you don't believe, then fair enough, you can come along. If we get a good vibe from you, because at the end of the day, we also have to protect, the people in our organisation. If you're going to come out and your only reason to come out is to be a complete naysayer and cause issues, then well, that's your prerogative. But we have plenty of people that were brought out, like Richard, good point in case. He was a complete skeptic before he came out, and now you ask him and he'll be like, I'm still closer to skeptical, but there's been experiences that on the occasion this happens made me go, right, shit, I can't explain that. And I'm like, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Exactly.
I
mean, we're giving up a lot of our time, and it's, we don't get paid for it.
Yeah.
We do it because, we're all interested.
Yeah.
And, we want to, the ultimate goal, I think, of like any paranormal team is to get solid proof.
Yeah.
But then, folk have been interested in spirits for years, centuries.
Yeah.
And, there's no solid proof. But we don't fake anything. There's absolutely no point in putting a lot of money and effort and time into something and then you're going to fake stuff.
Yeah. I think I
don't get that.
There's no proof, but there's no proof that there isn't. It's kind of the problem with the paranormal. Like, I see a lot of folk in the science community who are just straight like, nah, it's all bullshit. Paranormal investigators are liars. And it's like, and I completely respect these people because of the fields that they're in, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, well, I'll take you. You give me a solid year where you come to venues with me, and I will take you to a venue, and you will experience something that will make you go, huh. Because I can't explain the two audio things that have happened to me, because they weren't just audio, they were also physical sensations, because they might go, it was an audio hallucination, or like, some shit like that, and it's like, right, combo every single environmental factor of what happened on those locations. Stirling Old Town Jail, when somebody blew in my ear. That's not explainable. I've had one of my mates try and debunk it all the times. Oh, but it could be a perfect moment of a draft happening at this time, and and he's just trying to go through it all, and I'm like, yeah, cool. How about you stop being a gobshite? I'll take you to Stirling Old Town Jail. And when it happens to you, I'll be like, oh, but it's probably just a perfect draft and this perfect moment of somebody opening the door, and like just it magically, whimsically flew through the building and just caught you and only your eardrum. Like, aye, okay.
Yeah,
and it was the perfect temperature to mimic human lung, the heat from a human lung. Like, aye, the one gust of wind that blew through the whole fucking building. Like, I feel like he underestimates how big Stirling Old Town Jail is.
Yeah, it's pretty damn big.
Oh God.
But yeah, I love it. Every time I went, I had to buy something. It was usually a t-shirt that I bought. But yeah, I'm gonna miss it all this year.
Aye, true. Kirstie has had to. Well, yeah, you'll get back up. But Kirstie is.
Oh, I'm definitely coming back up. Yeah.
Aye, Kirstie's moved away, so it won't be as regular, unfortunately, which is absolutely poop.
Yeah, I've moved far away.
I got a message from
So,
you. I got a message for you. I saw in the chat from your lovely daughter. She says, "Can hear you guys from the garden. Neighbours are gonna think we are fucking weird." Alright, I'm gonna
well,
pause here for a
they're
second.
better known sooner rather than later.
Aye, true. I'm going to pause here for a second because this is about to end the call because Zoom only gives you 40 minutes for free. If you're willing to stay on, we can reset the call. It's up to you.
No, I think I'm going to have to go.
Cool.
Not yesterday, the day before, I was awake for about 22 hours solid.
Right. Well,
and it's kind of catching up me now, but
we'll do a quick hasta luego. Thanks for watching the podcast, guys. This was Kirstie, one of our senior investigators, who is now in another country. So, you know, we'll see you when we see you back out.
But I will be back.
You can be
I will be back.
can be our international booking agent.